Righto, just out here trying to push the suspension a little bit. Of actually, aside from the thicker, fork oil that I put in ages ago, just today I've actually put in some preload spacers into the forks. I just made up a couple myself. They're probably a bit thicker than what most people would put in. I've seen 5 to 7 mil of preload spacers recommended. I went with 10 just because that's what I had. Some 10 mil HDPE to make them out of, so high density plastic. Oh, and bees. Not a fan of the bees. The honey smells good, but so yeah, I was thinking, kind of hoping that along with that increased fork oil, increased weight and volume of fork oil, just adding that 10 mil of preload on each side, on each fork, might make a bit of difference. It certainly hasn't made the bike handle any worse or anything. The thing is, there's still a heap of sag in these forks. I don't know if it's because of the crash bars and everything, too much weight on there, but it is of course a heavy bike as well. So yeah, hopefully I can find a few little erosion mounds that'll let me bottom it out, or try to bottom it out. Oh, here's one. Oh yeah, that was quite a launch. Well, got a fair bit of air that time. No bottoming out. Still seems to be, behaving quite well. More bees. So yeah, not hard to make spacers for these forks. You just I'm not going to recommend doing it as yet. I'm still testing. It seems to have made a difference, but I just don't know if anything's going to go wrong with it because of how I had to put the spacers in there. Sort of, there's normally a metal, like a washer spacer sort of thing that sits on top of the spring and goes into the top of the spring to sort of hold the spring centered. And the big spacer that I put on underneath that sort of, that it doesn't allow the metal part of the, that original washer to sit down inside the spring, so I don't know if the spring needs to be held in the center or what. Doesn't seem to be making any horrible noises or anything as yet. Good little test there. I'm telling you what, man, you can spend can spend fucking $4,000 on your forks if you want to, but you can certainly beef these forks up quite a bit with, you know, some heavier oil and a couple of preload spaces that you can make at home. I don't actually know the dimension. I should have measured the bloody things, but if you pull your fork caps off, you'll be able to work out what to do with spaces. Now obviously I haven't done anything to the shock on this bike, so the arse end does still bottom out. It's yeah, the preload's maxed out, which gives it the best chance of, you know, makes it as stiff as it can get. The fork seals haven't blown out or anything crazy like that yet, so hopefully all good. Whee. I don't want to get my bike dirty. Even on stuff like that, just there, these forks would have bottomed out easy. Stock. There's definite improvement. But yeah, from factory, how this bike comes, or how mine came anyway, I'm pretty sure the fork oil was a bit skimpy. Definitely wasn't the 620mm that it's supposed to be in there. I've been down here before, it's dead end. But yeah, honestly guys, when I first got this bike and rode it stock, if you even thought about sending it off-road, you know, the forks would just start bottoming out. Bang, 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 bang. What the fuck are they doing here? Assholes. Anyway, if you haven't seen my recent vid, I did a vid on not how to replace the fork oil or anything, but basically what I did, what oil I used and how much I put in there. So check that out if you want to, and yeah, make yourself up a couple of spaces if you want a little bit more preload. Yeah. So far, so bloody good. I'm loving it. You know, as I said before, you can spend, you know, thousands of dollars on your suspension if you want to, but I don't have the skill to ride it to that level. You know, just doing the few little cheap changes that I've done have brought the bike sort of up to my level, and yeah, like I don't have to hold back on it now. If anything, I'm holding the bike back. So I'm pretty happy with that. No way I could do that before. The arse end does seem to sort of kick up on this thing quite viciously now and then. I don't know if, you know, I might be able to fix that with some clicker settings or something. Trouble is I don't really know what I'm doing with clickers, so probably just put up with it. Alright, here we go. Whoa. Whoa. So, no worries over that sort of stuff. That bottomed out then, but it did not make that big clangy noise. I mean, you know, this is a 200 plus kilo bike, so, you know, there's a lot of weight coming down on those bloody forks. So much better, so much better. I've taken the wrong turn, maybe. The arse end flicked up then. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys I'm getting fucking 10 feet of air or anything, you know, you can see that I'm not, but it's definitely pushing it more than I could before, definitely. And it ain't slowing me down any, so. Oh yeah, that was a bit of a G out. And this one. Oh no. Oh no, so much fun now. So much fun. You know, for a big bike like this. Now I know where I am. Definitely, you know, I wouldn't say definitely, but I have to imagine that it's a little bit more sort of rough on the road and stuff. Like, you know, it's got to be a bit stiffer, a bit, you know, a bit more bumpy on the bumps and stuff. But I mean, look, it's fine, you know. It's you gotta decide what your priorities are. If you want to ride the fucking thing off road like a lunatic, then you know you got to put up with a bit of bumpiness on the road. You know, everything's a trade-off. Listen to me talking as though I know shit. I love this bike, and I love it infinitely more now that the suspensions are a little bit sorted out. Cool. To be perfectly honest, I don't think that the preload space has made as much difference as, you know, doing the fork oil. But you know, when you've got a fat ass bike like this, every little bit helps, especially when it doesn't cost you nothing except for a bit of your time. Alright guys, a quick update. I'm back in the bat cave. I thought, you know, I'd better just take these spaces that I made down in thickness a little bit. I think 10mm was a bit too thick. If you can see, that's the regular, I think it's some kind of spacer. Basically it sits on top of this cap. I think normally the spring would go up inside there, so this stops that from going up inside there, and it also, because it's got that little lip on it, it normally sits inside the spring there and stops the spring from, you know, it keeps it centered. So my initial spacer that I'd made was 10mm thick, and basically the whole thing could just slide around on there. So now I've taken it down to about 6mm, so I've just got a tiny bit of that lip sticking up above the edge, so that's just enough for the spring to remain centered there. So because these spaces didn't make that much of a difference overall, I thought I might as well just do it properly, make them a bit thinner. So yeah, so that's what I've done. So if you're wondering, I actually made these out of a piece of high density polyurethane, I think it is. Outer diameter is 42mm, inner diameter about 25, so that'll, if you wanted to make some up, that'll fit you perfectly onto that washer that's already in there. And yeah, you want probably a maximum of about 6mm, so you've just got a bit of a lip to keep it centered. I don't know how important that is, but it was sort of, yeah, it could definitely, the spring could definitely shimmy around there without that being centered like that. So for peace of mind, I've just done it again. It was a pain in the ass pulling the forks out again, but it is what it is. So yeah, preload spacers, easy as that. Cool, I'm going to put it all back together and see how much fun we have. If you ever do take your forks apart like this, guys, make sure you put a zip tie or something around the your dampening rod thingy, because when that goes down into your oil, very hard to get out, as I discovered yesterday. Anyway, I think this is all good to go back together now. You need a nice thin 17mm spanner on that nut in there, so that you can tighten up your cap. Rightio, that one's ready to go back in the bike. Righto, this is the second fork. You can see that's my 10mm spacer. I'm about to, you know, grind it down to 6mm. You can see how the spring just can slide from side to side in there. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. I don't want to risk it. So yeah, going to take this one down to 6mm as well, which will stop that. Right, that's the second spacer trimmed down to 6mm. As you can hopefully see there, spring's a lot more sort of, it can still move side to side a little bit, but it's constrained sort of within that center area there, so that's good. Happy with that. One does not simply do work on one's bike and then not go for a shakedown test ride, especially on a day like this. So I mostly just want to make sure that I haven't buggered anything up, you know, make sure the bike's all ship shape. normally it doesn't matter quite so much, but tomorrow I've got a ride with a mate, and he's coming all the way up from Brisbane. I don't want to fuck him around, get up if he comes all the way up here and then go for a ride and one of me forks fucking falls apart or something. Yeah, not ideal. Is anybody buying that bullshit? Really, it's a nice day and I want to ride my bike, so. So yeah, from starting that job, the bike complete, to taking the front wheel and everything off and pulling it all apart, taking the forks out, grinding down those spaces and putting it all back together took me, I reckon, somewhere between an hour and an hour and a half this morning. So I have had a fair bit of practice at it lately, but it's not a hard job at all. Oh hey, this is the one I came out of the other day. So I'm on my way to that single. Cool, but there's a bit of a rocky hill going up the other side of this creek bank. Could be interesting. It's not super gnarly or anything, this sort of stuff, but this is probably about the limit of what I would do by myself out here on this bike. Yeah, it's definitely starting to warm up here in Queensland. Winter's officially over. It's not a bad little jump there. I want to set this other camera up somewhere and get a bit of footage of the bike launching. So, we're definitely not doing supercross or anything here, but it's a lot more fun to ride this thing when it ain't when it ain't banging out on every little bump that you hit. I'll just chuck the camera sort of on the bike here somewhere. I don't have the protective screen on the front of this camera anymore, so I've got to be a bit careful, but alright, pretty sure this is that single track. Come around, you bitch. third gear section there. Oh yeah, that'd be right. Now it gets tight. The T7's a single track machine, I reckon. Like, it loves it. Whoa. Yeah, that thing's solid. Little grass tree. Thought I was going down then. It's a bit of a tight section here. But yeah, like, I've never ridden an Africa Twin or a 1250 GS or any of those bikes in single track before, so I can't really compare the bigger bikes. All I can tell you is this thing's awesome in the single track. And it ain't too bad on the fire trails either. Oh, sandy corner. That's what happens when you glance down to see if your camera's still there at the wrong minute, wrong second. There was a track leading off to the side here. It's a bit steepish. Don't really feel like getting in the shit today. There's another ride planned for tomorrow. Those rocks are slippery. Might be a problem getting back up that if I have to, but yeah, no, I can get up the other side anyway. Coming down's probably the worst part. Alright, second gear, let's go! This thing just eating it up. So I wound in the, I forgot to mention, I wound in the rebound on the shock, the back. So that's only 2 clicks out now, it was 10. And it doesn't seem to be flicking up as much, which, makes sense. So yeah, that's good. Uh-oh. Beautiful. Oh, steep one. Righto guys, thanks for watching. I don't know why YouTubers thank people for watching their videos. I guess, what else do you say at the end of the video? Anyway, this was meant to be a short one. It started out to be a short one. It's probably quite long by now. So yeah, anyway. That's my fork preload spacer story / adventure. Oh mate, what a day. It's beautiful. Alright guys, as always, thanks to the Patreons. You guys make this stuff possible. Make sure you jump on mvdbr.com if you want to grab a sticker or, you know, t-shirts, mugs, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Old Mary River, beautiful.